What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Alright, so now that the Black Ops 6 beta is here, let's talk about performance. I'll be talking about in-game settings mostly, but I'll also be touching on Windows settings, or more specifically HAGs, which is hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. I might touch a little bit on NVIDIA control panel, but yeah, why don't we start by saying that the performance is not that great, but it's also not bad per se. I've heard some people say that it's really bad on their end, that they're not even able to get like 60 FPS, and others are at like 200 and they're just blazing through the game. So obviously it depends on your rig, but I think just from a general standpoint, it's not really optimized yet. Obviously it's still in beta. Why don't we start with the graphic settings? In the display section or display tab, obviously you want to pretty much use the same settings as Warzone 3 or Warzone and Modern Warfare 3. So match all of your current settings in here. I don't have to go through all of these. NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency, I would either recommend you using on plus boost. Pretty much you just got to test it out and research, and also it depends on your setup. So now quality, this is the tab or the section that's the most important. You obviously want to match your current render resolution. You don't want to play with this. It's just not the way to go. You're better off using an upscaling or sharpening. VRAM scale target, as you guys can see, my usage right now is about 40%, 38%. But I go about like 50, 56, about 60%. So 60% is good. You can always go more, but then you might stutter a bit. So it's better to be on the safe side. Variable rate shading is always good, especially that we have been using it for years and that we benefit off of this setting. Texture resolution low, texture filter anisotropic high, everything else is going to be lower off. Don't forget to change on-demand texture streaming. This is a setting that has been changed like recently, so change this to minimal. You can no longer turn this off, and download limits on in order for you to limit it to 1 GB. Everything else, like I said, lower off. Your FOV is based on you. Same thing for the weapon FOV and vehicle FOV. And yeah, don't forget to turn this at least for the movement. Also, one thing, go to interface. You can start with telemetry. Always good for you to see your FPS, latency, your packet loss, pretty much your VRAM usage, and the rest is all up to you. In color customization, I would recommend you just making everything really as saturated and as bright as possible, applying these custom colors. And in color filter settings, color filter 2 is very good, but this is by default, and this is filter 2. It's slightly brighter, slightly more saturated. Don't forget to target both interface and the world, which is in game, and the intensity at 100. Pretty much in terms of in-game settings, now we're going to jump right into HAGs, or hardware accelerated GPU scheduling, in our Windows settings. Alright, so in gaming, make sure that game mode is on, and then related settings, you can go in graphics, change this. As I mentioned earlier, hardware accelerated GPU scheduling, or HAGs. I turned this off. I've tested both. I expected HAGs to help me, or to even just, help me in general, whether it's on or off, but honestly I didn't notice any difference. Plus with HAGs on, I was stuttering a lot, so it really depends on your setup, but it's worth trying and it's worth testing. So also for control panel, pretty much these are my settings. I go off for image scaling and ambient occlusion. Anisotropic filtering is going to be application controlled. Anti-aliasing is application controlled as well. The rest is really up to you. Low latency mode. Prefer maximum performance in terms of power management mode. Same thing for your refresh rate. Your cache size, you can put this at 100 or even unlimited if you have the resources. And VSync is going to be off, obviously, and pretty much in terms of NVIDIA control panel. So yeah, pretty much these are my settings. Let me know how much FPS you guys get, if you guys are having troubles with performance, or if you're quite satisfied. Let me know in the comment section below if there's also something that I missed, or if there's something that could help me. Anyways, I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. This was just a first video to see how much FPS I'm getting, and if there's going to be an improvements as the full game releases. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.